Meanwhile, inspired by a century of celluloid sword fighting, the MythBusters are about to take another movie myth and cut it down to size.
So what's the myth?
Well, this is one I wish we were taking on ourselves. But you guys are going to handle it. It is from sword fights in the movies. Every time there's a sword fight in the movie, I swear the hero ends up slicing the bad guy's sword in half with his sword.
So we're going to get to cut swords in half.
We have to find out if that's possible.
Dude, that sounds dangerous.
And yet,
Fun.
Sword cutting is a Hollywood cliché with a long and proud history. For instance, in the remake of The Count of Monte Cristo, James Caviezel is making his point to Guy Pearce when his sword is suddenly stunted.
Okay, so if we're going to test this myth, obviously we're going to have to get some swords.
and this is actually the first hurdle. I mean, any sword that was made for real fighting is an antique and pretty much priceless. So I don't know what to do about that.
Well, you know, I'm sure they have really high quality replicas that are made like the real thing. So why not get those? And they're going to be, you know, they won't be cheap, but they're not going to be like priceless.
Traditional sword makers used different types of steel. These were then forged and folded together. It's a technique that was honed over hundreds of years, and the end product was a sword of truly formidable strength. The MythBusters will have to steel themselves for something a little less traditional. These modern replicas have been cast from high-carbon steel.
This is a bimetal, hardened steel, katana, battle-ready sword. Now these are the ones that we're going to be using for the actual cutting and target sword. These swords may look cool, but these are just stainless steel, softer metal swords. These are the ones we're going to use for velocity tests, or if we need a softer metal target, or Tori and Grant need to get out some of their pretend samurai battles.
Now, we know the MythBusters usually like to be scientific about their work, but this time they're going to try the direct approach.
All right, what's the whole myth is trying to cut a sword with another sword, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we just try to cut a sword with another sword?
Okay.
Wearing the latest season's chainmail, the guys clamp a sword and come out swinging. In the end, the target blade isn't cut in two, but it is damaged. Maybe Hollywood has a point.
I gotta tell you, I'm really jealous about this. I heard you guys were whacking these things all over the parking lot yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't able to break it, though. I mean, I practically broke my hand.
Yeah, my hands are still stinging.
Well, look, it's time to get back to basics and make this thing swing as hard as possible. It's time to build a sword whacking robot, man.
All right, I accept your challenge.
Grant's robot will comprise a steel arm revolving on a spindle. Coiled around the spindle, a length of cable with weights attached. When a quick release fires, the weights will drop, pulling the cable, and the robot arm will swing into action.
You know, guys, it occurs to me that you can't make this machine swing this thing just at the fastest speed possible. You want to fire it at your object with the same speed and the same power as like the best swordsman you could find. So you should bring a swordsman in and clock his swinging speed.
So that way we know it's humanly possible.
Precisely.
These guys are exponents of a samurai sword art called tamashigiri. They've brought along the real thing, antique Japanese swords, more at home in a museum than at MythBusters.
1300s, 1800s, 1600s.
And you brought these down here to show us.
Sure.
You're very brave to bring these on set. So what I want to get to is, because our fans nitpick. Now, we're doing all these tests with this sword. You, with confidence, could say that we could come to some conclusions by using these modern equivalents.
I have that same sword that I use for cutting all the time when I practice.
Perfect. Yes. That's what I want to hear.
Remember, Grant's robot will have to match these guys for sword speed. Using the high-speed camera, they time how long it takes for the blade to cut the straw mat target. The quickest time is 6 milliseconds to slice through 7 inches. That equates to a speed of 48 miles per hour. That's how fast Grant's robot arm will have to swing. Coming soon on this Mega Movie Myth special, Adam and Jamie aim to ride high on Austin Powers' ejector seat.
That chair is going to clear this car really, really fast.
And next, going down, find out if awnings could really have saved Indy.
1.
When Indiana Jones and his leading lady make an unscheduled exit from the top floor of a building, the only thing between them and certain doom are some awnings. The MythBusters have replicated that scene and are poised to drop Buster onto 3 awnings. Will they save Buster's bacon? Hold on to your hats.
Did you almost lose a beret?
Almost did.
I've never known that to happen. Did you not put the double stick tape on it this morning?
Pins out!
Let's see. Is an awning as good as a safety net? Or will it be a shroud?
All right, and you're going down in 3, 2, 1.
Buster hit the first awning and spilled onto the second, which tore open, leaving our hero in a rather undignified position.
Is that his ass sticking through?
You'd think he might have earned himself a reprieve, but no. Sorry, Buster, you've got to finish your fall.
His ass fell off.
Is that all of the debris?
He might have gone to pieces, but did he survive the fall? Earlier, Carrie stuck shock sensors all over Buster. Those sensors will have registered the amount of shock force his body took in the fall.
Wait, here we got an arm here. Let's see. Oh, the orange shock watch is tripped. The red shock watch is tripped. It's like 75 G's in the chest.
Which means some broken ribs, but not necessarily death. What about the 100G shock sensor in his head? If that tripped, then it's bye-bye Buster.
Yes, that one was when it was in the head, and supposedly it takes 100 G's to break the neck. So he didn't take that to the head.
It looks like Buster lived.
Adam's more shocked than Buster.
Buster seems to have definitively lived through that exercise. He's definitely a little worse for wear. But all of the metering equipment we had on him says that he survived that fall.
What it tells me is that if you're going to fall off a building, this is not a half bad way to do it. You know, I mean, I wouldn't recommend trying it, but if you got to, I'd go this route.